Good afternoon, Paul Hawksbee and Charlie Baker here on talkSPORT. Now, I think most Spurs fans blindsided last night. The first new face in under the Thomas Frank era was a young Japanese centre-half, 20 years old. Kota Takai, 4 caps for Japan, 82 games in senior football, £5 million. Yeah. He's a player I don't really know very much about. So we turn to someone that we always do on the world of Japanese football. He is the editor and publisher of J Soccer magazine over in Japan. It's Alan Gibson. Good afternoon,
Hello,
Alan.
Good evening from Japan.
Good evening. Yes. So, I mean, has this been kind of in the offing for a while? Had you heard whispers about this, or were you slightly blindsided by it too?
Not at all. I don't know why you called me. No, well, this young man was definitely going overseas within this transfer window for sure. And I think he had plenty of offers from many teams in various countries. I'm quite surprised that he's gone straight into the Premier League, and I'm hoping, I don't know, you probably know more than I do, if he's going straight into the team or at least into the squad, or whether he's going out on loan like someone like Mitoma did, for example, for a year before coming in and setting the Premier League alight. So it'll be very interesting to see. I'm very excited.
I watched as a Tottenham fan, Alan, I watched the little 5-minute show reel, and he looks very quick. Most of his highlights seem to be kind of pacey recovering tackles to win the ball and not take the man. Is that kind of the cornerstone of what he's about?
Yeah, he's very, very good. He's very fast. He's registered at 6'4". I'm not sure, 6'3.5", which is very unusual for a Japanese player, of course, and should be a problem in the Premier League if size matters. My wife says it doesn't, so that's a good thing. And he's only about 82, 83 kilograms at the moment, I think, so he might need a bit beefing up. But he's I think some of the highlights you've probably seen were in the Asian Champions League semi-final when he played against Cristiano Ronaldo, Sadio Mane and John Duran. And basically he had them in his pocket all game. I didn't realise Ronaldo was playing for about 60 minutes. Wow. Seriously, I was sort of watching it on a small screen, and I really had forgotten that Ronaldo was there. I mean, he was really.
He was just off the left of the screen. He wasn't quite making it.
Yeah.
You said, I saw you tweet earlier today, Alan, saying good luck to him. But is he ready? Will he waste away in the reserves? Do you think,
is he one for the future? Do you think?
They say he's going into the first team squad. Obviously, there's going to be he's going to have to adapt. Clearly, and Mitoma, you're right. Went Union, didn't he? And played in Belgium. When he came back, he was ready. I think I saw one of his very early games for Brighton. They played Spurs, and he came off the bench. And I said to Paul Barber, "Who is that guy? Blimey, he's good."
Great.
I mean, if you can have anything like that impact, Tottenham have got a bargain by the sound of it.
Yeah, well, obviously he's not an impact player as such, because he'll be at the back snuffing out everybody else, hopefully. But as I said, I was like, well, straight into the Premier League. Will seriously, if they, I'm not sure again of the Spurs squad, but I know they've got 4 or 5 centre backs. And will the manager Ange Postecoglou would have surely given him a chance immediately, but that's a different story now. If he gets a chance, I'm sure he'll need guidance. I mean, He's just 20. I think he's 21 by this September, start of the season. I mean, he's done all of his time at Kawasaki Frontale as opposed to choosing to go to university, or he's been chosen quickly so he doesn't have to go to university. But a lot of the guys come in straight into the J1 at 22 or 23 after they've done 4 years at university. But the university leagues and the high school leagues are very, very competitive in Japan, and they develop players very well. So it's not like he hasn't been playing at all anyway. So someone like Mitoma, who came in after 4 years at university, well, you've seen the result. It didn't hinder him at all by starting late. And in this case, he's started early. He's been playing at least, last year he was J1 Player of the Season, J1 Young Player of the Season. And he deserved it very much so. You can play either feet, both left and right. I'm not sure what Spurs need. He's played at right back too. I don't think he's played at left back, but I'm sure he probably could. He's played in 3-back systems, 4-back systems for Japan and Kawasaki Frontale. He's big. I think one of the keys I've seen is that he's not afraid to stick a foot in now and again. He's got a little bit of malice and a little bit of strength about him. And I think, for me, if I may digress slightly, is that some of the Japanese players tend to be too nice.
Right.
They won't go as far as kicking some guy up the backside when they need to, or hacking someone down on the halfway line when they really need to.
Right.
And to me, I do like that thing about Japanese football. I don't want them kicking each other up in the air, but
I've seen Endo do that though. I've seen Wataru Endo.
He put
his foot in here and there. That's sort of his. I mean, I think he's a hell of a player, Endo.
It's needed now and again. And sometimes I don't want it, but I do want it.
Yeah.
Especially in the national team when the referees have been weak and allowing other players to get away with things, and Japan don't give it back enough.
Are there more to come, Alan? Would you say? Do you think are there other Japanese players you can see making a switch to Europe that you've been impressed with?
Yes, I think there's. Well, if you probably literally look at the last Olympics where Japan played, they rarely use overage players in the Olympics. They usually tend to stick to under 23s. So there's 26 there, of which a lot of them are already overseas, actually. But I mean, Japan just now they qualified for the World Cup with 3 games to spare, I believe. So the last 2 games they sent a second squad and probably played a third team against Australia, had about 80% of the play and lost 1-0.
Right.
And then played a bunch of, I mean, I think there was one player in the team with about 45 caps, Kamada from Crystal Palace.
Yeah. And
literally the rest of the team had about 19 caps between them.
Wow.
So they have got plenty of players coming up from the university to the high school. We've just had a guy go straight from university to Norway, to Brøndby, Denmark. Sorry, Norwegians.
Yeah.
And certainly these days, the high school, as I've just mentioned, which will get thousands of players, thousands of fans, and the finals played at the National Stadium, and they'll fill it up. They'll get 55,000 at the National Stadium for a high school final. And there are dozens of scouts from overseas at high schools these days too.
Well, it's interesting
Sounds
stuff.
Good, Paul.
We'll see how he does, Alan. A pleasure as always. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Alan.
Pleasure is all yours. Thank you.
There we are. There's Alan Gibson, the editor of J Soccer magazine.
Should QPR be looking forward to having him on loan, by the sounds of things, Paul, for a while?
No, not necessarily.
No, you think he'll be there?
We don't favour one club. Okay. Maybe West Brom will be
of course.
With Ryan Mason there now. Maybe we'll have a bit of an understanding with the Baggies.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows?
I see that.
I mean,
I see that Nat Phillips is signing for West Brom, which he's still he was still a Liverpool player.
Yes, I know. He's been out on quite a lot. I saw him saying
lots of loans. Still a Liverpool player.
Him and his family can put down roots.
Yeah, going to West Brom.
Our experience of Japanese players, Kazuyuki Toda was the last one. He was a defensive midfielder back in the day. Yeah. One ex-Tottenham player who'd seen him said to me, he could be our Vieira. I think he meant Patrick. He wasn't even our Fabio Vieira, let's be honest. It wasn't the most successful signing, but there have been lots of good Japanese players over. Good luck to the lad. 20 years old. It came absolutely out of nowhere. But thanks to Alan to explain all, and it looks like there could be more Japanese players heading this way.
Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs, Monday to Friday afternoons 1 till 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.